Hi everyone. So I believe we're live here. Just oh yeah, it's getting set up. Perfect. First thing, love, light, and gratitude to you all. And of course, it's been a while. I've been very busy, but as most of you know, I put out Ascension updates and energetic updates to keep ones informed on what is uh, what is occurring with the overall ascension. And yes, everything is happening for very important divine reasons. There is the planetary ascension, which is ongoing, and that is the reason why you are seeing the worldwide civil unrest, the corruption, uh, which is the revelations, the disasters worldwide. All of this is all connected to the planetary ascension and, yeah, the end times, but the new times simultaneously are occurring. So, with that, I've been on the computer so much lately that the eyes have not had the required time to heal by being away from the computer and the light that comes from it. So, having said that, my vision has become blurred at times when I look at the computer. But also, having said that, blurred vision is a common symptom with the ascension as well. So, we have a few things going on with that. The last few days, the blurry vision also has increased, let's say, a little more for many. Without going too deep into detail, why that occurs and the explanation for it is one thing I will say. You need to understand that everything with your physical and energetic body is changing energetically on the whole. And with this, your frequency, your vibration, and your eyesight also is being attuned to see the higher frequencies, the higher bandwidths of the multi-dimensional proportions that you could not see before. So, what occurs with the energetic soup when you get in periods of density and compression, like you felt for mostly the last month? That is lower density. And if you can imagine that energy having the density that also clouds the energetic mix. So when you have an eyesight that is attuned to a higher energetic reality, a purer energetic reality of all good things and all things divine, then when you're down in this density, your eyesight is going to become blurred because of the energetics. So it is very simple physics, if you will, when you look at energetics and the polarities of it and how all of this works. Um, I could quite conveniently go deeper into explaining this, but I do not. I know you get the pictures with it. Having said this, also with these periods of density, it is perfectly normal for all of you to put on some weight, some pounds on your physical vessels. And there is the divine reason for this as well. And I myself, I eat good food, not really fattening, but let me say this physical vessel has put on weight, but also by my divine direction here, also to keep grounded in this reality and to keep transmuting the negativity Well, what actually occurs when you eat and when you need to eat more, what it does, it contracts your energetic field, your aura. So the surface area of your aura, let's say when you're in the higher vibration, is way out here. And the surface area is great. But because of that surface area being great, it will attract more and more negative polarity if you are in that state to do so, to transmute. So what occurs is by eating food, then your energetic aura, the energy that's responsible for keeping it so big, part of that energy, or a lot of it, then becomes distracted and begins to work on the digestion of the food. And what this does, it brings your aura in smaller so that it does not collect so much negativity like it was on the outside. So this is a divine regulation feature. And also, if you look at typical human psychology, and with depression, one of the side effects of depression is ones will tend to eat, eat, and eat. And one of the reasons they do that is that subconsciously they are using the physical vessel defensive system at keeping the energy occupied at eating food, rather than the field to be out there bigger, attracting more and more density and negativity. But there also comes the point when there needs to be the regulation with that amount of food that they're eating. In the past, it would happen on a subconscious level, and they would re-regulate or what have you. But what I wanted to show is that you already have this within your genetic makeup, your DNA, these sort of instructions that happen on an involuntary basis, meaning that they're automatic, that you really don't need to think about them in the past to engage them. But now, being more conscientious of how things work, um, with this, you can more readily regulate yourself as well as your body's metabolism, its ability to digest food and at the rate that it digests. But getting back simply, if one's got on extra weight, your metabolism with this ascension and the crystalline transformation will allow you to get rid of excess weight very quickly, and in some cases, if not instantly. So have no stress with this. You don't want to have stress with that extra weight, for the simple reason, if you have stress, it's keeping you in lower vibration, and you'll only keep eating more and more, perhaps. So you need to be conscientious so that you can regulate this. And yes, Jamie in the comments says she has had blurry vision the last few days. Yes, you'll see this. See, and this is one of the reasons that substantiate that these are ascension symptoms, because you'll see them occurring at times with so many, worldwide. When you look at the groups and this, there'll be these common themes, these common symptoms that there is no, let's say, orthodox medical reason for it, that something else is causing it. And of course, it's all induced by energy, which includes the sun and the energetics on Earth at any given time. So I got a list here. That's why I got the glasses on. I got a list of points so I can go through it and touch on, at least most of what I have written down here. to be as all-inclusive as I can. So having said this, the disasters are ongoing and increasing worldwide. And when I speak about these disasters, I'm sure that most of you, if not all, have seen the worldwide unprecedented floodings with walls of water coming down city streets, washing campgrounds away, um, villages and towns, and vehicles floating down what used to be city streets and rivers of water going to the oceans, very just like watching an end times movie, but it is very real, and it is a very important reason for this as well. And also, I currently see there is a huge anticipated winter storm in most of the U.S. That if it has not already begun, it will be beginning shortly. Now, all of these disasters are occurring also for two reasons. One reason is that the built up stress upon Gaia with all of the revelations, the revealing, exposing the corruption, exposing all of the darkness, the dark players. But when ones are seeing that, they're also awakening higher. But during that process, there is anger that comes out, there is the great uncertainty. Uh, and this generates an energy out into your reality. So with the exposing of the way the what I call it the beast system, which it is the current capitalistic system and system of governments and politics. It's all at its core, it is the beast system. It's designed every step of the way to enslave ones, to disempower ones, to strip ones of their rights, their God-given rights and what have you. So the entire structure of it is unsalvageable. You cannot reform that system because at its very core, it's not designed for the public interest. It is designed to support the enslavement protocols, the separation protocols, everything with it. So these are the dark these that is the dark world. So the new world is being created simultaneously as we speak, and that is being done through a logical worldwide vote and consent that transitions the world uh, quickly upon receiving the majority vote. And any of you can look into the comments, and I have the website there where you can go and vote. Not only you, for your children as well. Every child's voice counts in this worldwide vote because it's a worldwide vote for the new world where all are in abundance, joy, happiness, and no longer enslaved to this current beast system and the political nonsense and all of that ridiculous disharmonic stuff that goes with it. So your new world is a great world that um, you have what you could call some committees, administrators that gets paid the same as everyone else, that just navigates resources, getting to everyone where you need it. No one is in lack. There's more than abundance actually in this world. It's just that the old power structure did not intend to give you your full freedom and your full comfort here. There were much deeper, sinister things occurring. So the divine plan is occurring, and getting back to the reason also why these disasters are occurring. It's to catch one's attention that didn't see all of the signs before. Now the signs are becoming more obvious and blatant, that they cannot ignore them, and they are turning to what has been seeded for this time of ascension long ago, and what has been written not only in Bibles, in the Bible, in the Koran, in prophecy, in ancient text. This time has been written about. So we are here, and in the Vedics, if you will, in Hinduism. So, having said that, you can look at any of these prophecies from the past and you can directly correlate them and connect them with this now. So, we're at a point that there's no refuting nor disputing that we are not currently in the end times of this old beast system, and subsequent at the same time creating the new world. So it is happening. The thing is, it's important not to have any fear. Uh, Trust in yourself, your abilities, and trust in your connection to God, and follow what you are told to do. For example, if you're in a low level area like New York or something, if you're told to get to higher ground and you feel that, go and do it. There is, for I, no telling on how long these disasters will occur, how long it will be prolonged, because it also depends on the people making the choices for the new world. Because everything is energy, even a choice. So when ones make choices, that is an energetic alignment with the new world, bringing it in. And what occurs is the more that does this, the quicker they do it, it begins to diminish these disastrous effects. Because what you're doing is the energy that's contributing to these disastrous effects is stress energy from the people. But once they know they have the full reprieve, that the new world is here, it's being populated through consent, that and it's being done logically, that it's not just a hope that it may happen, it's inevitable. So it is actually occurring. So once they see this, they have direction and they know what to do. And the more that does this gets aligned with the divine plan, which is God's will, what was promised is divine GPMS. The more that align with this, it balances out these disasters, and they begin to fall away, because this new world is a paradise, if you will, which is calm, harmonious, and everyone working together. So in that type of energetic environment, you don't have all of these storms, earthquakes, heavy snow, and unprecedented floods. This doesn't exist up in this harmonious world. So it's important to understand how the energetics are working without I going deeper in to explain more of the mechanics of it. And hi, Joanna. And all right, so I put out a post, I think yesterday or the day before. I always preach about unity, because unity is so important. Energetically connected, like online, like most of us are, but it's more important in the physical. And what Jesus had taught, which is very important, is he said, where two or more gather in his name, in the name of God. So all of you on here are divine and you believe in God. But what Jesus was speaking about were two or more of you physically gather, what occurs is that energetic field, by being in proximity less than 6 feet to another, and both aligned with God, you make a triad, a triangle of energetics that then sends out into the world many multiples. So if it's two of you that are together in the physical, you don't send out 2 times the amount of energy. You send out many multiples, 10 multiples, hundreds of multiples, or even more, thousands, depending on these two that are in the physical proximity of each other and what they do and what they engage in. And this is why the twin flames are so important as well to be together, because the twin flames are divine ones that are, let's say, genetically matched, but also divinely and energetically matched. And when they are in close proximity to them, to each other, they affect reality at much a greater rate than just two divine masculine sitting down speaking. Yes, they do have an effect, but when you have a feminine and masculine twin flame pair, because of that divine love and other things that are created between them, it changes reality, and it affects reality at a much greater rate. So what we have seen with the twin flames, more so in the last perhaps year and a half, is the separation and not coming together, and even twin flames that were together physically separated. And that was divinely allowed to occur, and part of the reasoning for it is that if all of these twin flames were together, then you would not have the necessary signs of unprecedented floods and disasters for the unawakened masses to begin to see the signs and connect the dots to what it meant. What you would have had is the twin flames creating a floating reality above what was necessary for the other ones to awaken. So they needed these things to transition their consciousness, but they also need the experiences, which is so important. The experiences of coming together, caring for each other, helping each other, but also seeing how the current system is wrong where it doesn't support them as well. And yes, justice plays a huge role in this for all of humanity, at seeing how unjust the actual beast system is. So what I need to say, I believe next with this, the unity is so important. So for any twin flames counterparts that are out there that are separated, we strongly suggest take the measures to get back together. It is time, at this time, with the information I'm given, that enough of the masses have now entered that great awakening stage, and there's a huge wave. This is what you have felt for the last month, that great density, because it's coming from that huge wave of souls that now need to make the decisions to choose the new. And this new now needs to be populated with the twin flame pairs coming together to energize and widen this new world of the divine GPMS world, which is the divine plan. So everything is energy. Most of you have been taught that, and this is how creational energy works. And it's how we don't fight the beast system. We replace it with the divine system by putting your focus on the new world and using all of your divine tools to create this bigger and energize it and populate it. There is no going back to the old. Too many have suffered, if you will, and they're at a point they can no longer accept this. Enough is enough. So everything is divinely arranged towards that. The remnants of darkness, they still attempt to um, dissuade, confuse with false narratives, but at this point, most are able to discern what is truth and what is not, and they'll make the choice, and they are making the choices to become aligned with the truth, because there really is no other choice. You may be fed false narratives and lies for 20 years, but there comes a time, how much more of that do you need? When is it enough that you see through that illusion, that trickery of what you've been fed to keep you in complacency, while so many, let's say, have died worldwide in the least over that course of time, that can be saved instantly with the divine plan once the majority approve it. And one of the reasons it's being done this way is that humanity doesn't have time. We don't have time to educate all of humanity in the higher divine ways and the reasons for this new world. So it's divinely kept simple. Most of humanity, awakened or not, they know how a simple vote works and how majority rules. So that's easy to present to them. We have everything already here right now. We do not need to build anything to make this new world happen. All of the infrastructure is already here. And I don't want to go deep into how the new world works, but I wish to say it's simple. And I wish to say if we had the majority vote right today, within 24 hours, every man, woman, and child, for the most part on earth, would be receiving money in a bank account. And if they didn't have a bank account, they would be receiving it in other ways, as well as the essential um, goods and service providers for humanity. They would be topped up with however much that they needed, how much funds that they needed to distribute comfortably everything out there to the people. But again, I don't wish to get into the mechanics of how GPMS works, but what I do say, everything is already known, already figured out. It's so simple. And the only thing that's stopping the new world is the people yet not making the choices. So not as many as we need. However, everything is divinely set up that it is inevitable, and I'd like to say imminent again now, that they do make the choice, and you all ascend into this new world. So it's you're physically making it happen. You're creating the heaven on earth, and that's what this is about. And this is also why so many of you have done all of the inner work, the purity, and anticipating to be taken up by a ship, or anticipating just ascending to a new world, but you're still here, because the truth is you're here on earth to ascend earth, and then you ascend later once earth is ascended into that fifth dimensional reality. All of your inner work was to be aligned with the new reality, to purify yourself of the density so that you can be a light and a beacon in this new world, but also a creator to substantiate the energetics and have it prepared for the others. So this is why everything is feels so dense now, why all of you are still here, because as I explained previously, it's part of the process and part of the equation that it needs to be done this way. And the way that everything works, or the way that you thought it worked, let me put it this way, that most all on earth does not know how it really works, and that is the reason again why you're still here. Because if you knew how it really worked, and if you didn't sign yourself in here, you would not even be here, and none of you would be right now. And we know that everyone is tired and feels like giving up. But I'm saying, no, 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 we're so close. This has to occur. It's like Jesus said, there would be labor pains before the coming of the new world. And this is what you're seeing and what you're feeling, which has been prophesied. What I am seeing is also the compassion for the children worldwide. The children are innocent, and this has been given by Christ in the Bible. You know, the sin, the unforgivable sins when someone harms children, especially the darkness, what they're doing. But again, we are bringing this all to the surface now, especially, let's say, in Austria, what is occurring there. It cannot be no longer hidden, but it's connected to the entire world, and let's say the wicked, sinister, evil ones in the child care systems, but also the governments that fund them with the money so that children are able to be exploited as items of trade to make money and capitalize off of. It's all very sick. But what we were not seeing was all of the parents beginning to come together to unite, which they need to do to break down that old system. It is occurring, but let's say not at the anticipated rates of what we thought we would see. So we need more to step in to carry that through, so we can uh, release the children worldwide, free the children, and establish the family units at least back into the degree so that they can be harmonized and go forward and eliminate all of this torture and stress on children and their families, their moms and their dads. And what I will say at the core, that is part, it was all designed like that by the beast system to create stress and animosity, which is lower density, so they can keep their beast system alive. See, in the opposite new world, all children are free and abundance and comfort. They don't need to be protected because there is no crime being, there's no density, there's no animosity up here. It's the heaven on earth where family units are based on love, where the family is not pinned against each other because of the society and the capitalistic system and so many of those other dark attributes of the beast system. They don't exist in the new world. What we are creating and what is at your fingertips right now. But it takes action. Everyone is not to be complacent and allow for it to and just think it's going to come. You are divinely placed here to play an important role in bringing this to fruition. This is part of the reason you're here. It's part of your purpose. It's part of your mission. And if you're not already, it's time to engage more into your mission so we can end this suffering on earth and get the planet ascended into civility and out of this present savagery and insanity. So, um, I wrote the other day because Father instructed me to. Any unvaccinated mothers having children, given childbirth, you're instructed from Father, if you're able to, begin to have your home births. That is very important. And to change your diet, if you're still eating meat or bird, go to vegetable diet. It's important not only for you, but for the children that you are bearing for the new generations of Earth. They need to be kept clean and secure until we get there. And part of that is having the childbirths where possible at home, um, and where they're not vaccinated. And so this is for the unvaccinated mothers and fathers, of course, that knew more of what was going on. So keep your vessels clean, and your children also will be clean. Um, Next thing I have written down here just to touch on, again, it's important to have that trust in yourself, your connection to divine, know that an ascension is occurring, and keep your focus on this new world, because that trust is aligned with the future and all of the good things. And by having that trust, then what it does, it increases your discernment feature, excuse me, while still being 1 foot in this beast system world, on how to evaluate and discern who is the good ones, who is the bad ones, who is the false prophets, who are the genuine ones, etc., etc., etc. So what you do is you consciously increase your discernment at knowing this, and this assists you more in navigating your path, and you come more in alignment with your purpose, your reason, your divine mission, what you're here for to do at this time. So, twin flames, I mentioned that they're being oriented and to become beacons and stabilizers for this field. It needs to be stabilized, needs to be extended, and the twin flames are the creator pairs that have the creator codes to effect reality, without getting into everything about the twin flames. What I will say is I have a website. It's Teachings of Rick Jors is the name of the website. What I think I'll do right now is I'm going to copy the link to that, and I'll paste it here in the comments. Let's do that so you have that. Now, with the website, that has a lot of teachings on there, but it's perhaps only has half, I would say, of the teachings yet. What you will find on that is some new teachings. You will find, let's say, for any of you that were informed with the real Christ teachings, Gnostics, teachings from the Essenes, ancient wisdom, any of you that are familiar with that, you may see some of that in there. However, well, you will see some of it. However, there's also more knowledge that is being released. I'm one of those purveyors of the divine knowledge to this reality to advance it forward. So the knowledge is empowerment, and it's needed. So the new knowledge is coming in now so that ones have it as part of their divine arsenal to transition out of this reality, to transition here, the heaven on earth. So these are new tools, and this is the reason why you're not in New Earth yet, because the information, the tools, the knowledge was never given to ones to this extent. This is customized knowledge, embodiment, and enlightenment as well to that effect. So, and it is here now because we are in the planetary ascension to what many refer to as the fifth dimension. And that is the state where humanity is civilized and no more into this uh, uh, great savagery, what you see here. Like, it's absolutely sick and pathetic, and it goes beyond any leaders being incompetent. It goes to the point that it's intentional, that, let's say, over 15,000 children die of hunger or hunger related causes every day around the world, when it's all because of money and how that money is controlled. And meaning with divine GPMS.world, there is the unlimited instant money and access to resources that can feed very quickly within a year, I would say 10 times the current population on Earth, and no one would need to pay anything for it. So this is the competency, but it's the common sense and logic with it that GPMS employs. But it's why it's so simple. The solution for humanity, which is the divine plan, that there is no justification by any of the world leaders to continue with the capitalistic system that is constantly inflicting harm. So it shows that there is the intent with it. It's not a mistake. It's not an accident. The dark beast system, it's designed to do that. That is its intent, to create disharmony, suffering, harm, violence, disasters, all of these things. So, but they are coming to pass because we're constructing simultaneously the new world as the old destructs here. So it's the choice and alignment by every soul to choose this new world, so we get it done sooner rather than later. So it's important for all of you to know and play a part with this. Where are we at here now? So weight gain with the energetic grounding, already covered that. In Austria, just to go back there, we're using what is actual lawful liens and invoices also to reveal and expose more of the crime in Austria as a micro example to the world. So just to inform everyone, the liens and invoices, the extensive liens and invoices that we use, and of course these liens are trillion euros plus that we're using. These are lawful liens that are part of contract law and commerce. And I have been divinely educated and bestowed with extensive legal and lawful knowledge and financial knowledge to this effect. So it was part of my divine prerequisites before entering this time, and it's also the foundational background for quickly and instantly establishing the new world and the monetary system that comes with that. And by the way, the monetary system will only be a temporary system. So divine GPMS.world finishes what Christ showed when he flipped the tables on the money exchangers in the temple. What you need to look now is that the entire world is the temple, and inside the temple, those tables of the money exchangers have been flipped to free humanity. And that's what we're doing. So the old use of money that caused harm, to keep it simple, with GPMS, money's used as a good tool to uplift humanity, to ensure all existing inventory is bought freely, and then ramped up production of new uh, inventory that will be free. But about 9 months after the emergence with the planetary ascension, humanity comes to see they don't really need a method of exchange anymore, because everyone owns everything together, and they're in complete abundance, and it becomes nonsensical and even silly or hindering to use any form of monetary exchange. But again, this is the transitional part. We flip the use of money, we flip the tables on that to use it as a good, uplifting, ascending tool for all. Just to keep that simple. So many of you, because of the density of the last month, for the most part, it's normal to feel the disassociation with reality, to detach from it, and let's say go into your conserving energetic bubble, and more so just be in neutrality and observe. What I need to say, that is normal. Also fatigue, the lethargy, brain fog, if you will, confusion, the ability not to really focus on anything. You need to keep your consciousness suspended, if you will, no deep focus. And for many, it depends on what wave you're in. For the huge wave that is awakening, that we're feeling more of the compression, the density, with those, it brings to the surface impatience, anger, irritation, if you will. And because these are fear attributes that are being intensified and activated within the individuals, because it's part of the chaos, and the individuals also see the effects of their actions and their reactions, and how it sets off cascading negativity in their realities as well, unprecedented like any time before. So by them experience and seeing their negative effects through that experience, then they know that they must change, and change how they act and react. So it's part of their inner work process that is being intensified, and it's also being rushed. And this is really why there is not the free will choice by the masses, that they have to change their ways now. And truly, here on earth, there is, in this time we are in the divine ascension, that there truly is not the free will to the way you think it might be. And going back to what I said earlier, if it was the free will, none of us would be here. We didn't want to deal with this, but we're still here. So that's obvious that you don't have the full free will. You have the free will of choice, and when you exercise your free will of always making the higher choices and the good, righteous choices, in love and in truth, all the right, good ingredients, then you're able to keep your vibration higher. But if you make the wrong choices, like lying or whatever, you'll find you'll begin to implode quicker. You'll attract more negativity, because lying is charged negatively, And when you send out an energetic lie, because a lie is negative, it creates a thread that everything comes back to you, if you will. So you need to be very meticulous in this, in what you're doing as well. And this is why we say you need to even be meticulous with your words. You might occasionally say something that is not truth that also can have adverse effects. So you need to be conscientious as well of what you say and how you say it. But that is to each their own. Um, and yeah, no motivation. And I, with the divine work that I do, let me just say I have sort of a backlog of things to break down more of the darkness in Austria, but I've been held at bay for the last several days divinely because it's not time to move any of those energetics right forward yet. Uh, for the simple reasons with the energetics, there's so much occurring out there that we need to leave some of this to settle to allow for the divine timing of the next instruments and energetic instruments that we will apply to the overall situation. But there's also variables, and a lot of those variables, the biggest variables, is the people themselves making the higher right choices to stand now. That changes everything, as I said. And when they don't stand, when they're hesitant, that prolongs the timing of this ascension to some degrees. Now, so yeah, you're seeing the worldwide leaders have failed, as I said. So this makes it easier for ones to be directed towards the actual solution, the divine plan. Again, and what's occurring is many worldwide at this time. As you can see, your own indicators, they're withdrawing the consent from this beast system, meaning they're no longer supporting all of the terrorist actions, all of the medical narratives, all of everything with it. It's become the full ball of nonsense, if you will. So the people are beginning to withdraw their consent from that and, going into their bubbles of reflection and looking at how it's all insane, all absurd, the harm it's creating. So this is part of their alignment to create the new world. So they're withdrawing their consent and their support from the entire beast system worldwide. So they're right in limbo here in the process that they're withdrawing their consent, but they're withdrawing their consent from here to put it with the new world of divine GPMS world yet, which is the replacement system, the monetary system, and the simple laws of God for the new replacement system. And the foundational law for the divine GPMS and the replacement system on earth is do no harm. That is the foundation, along with all of the intrinsic unalienable rights. And of course, your rights of self determination, but all in goodness. So the law and the constitution for the world, because GPMS is the universal nation and jurisdiction of what it does, it is already a nation. It has almost 400,000 that are the population of it, and it's growing daily. and it will grow because the entire planet Earth will become this universal nation where everyone is in joy, love, absolute peace, harmony, abundance, all of the freedom, all of the good things. So, so this is what we have. There's a sort of a bifurcation occurring right now with the waves, as I mentioned earlier. So that is also occurring where many of you have been observing and kind of like sitting out uh, the other huge wave of the masses are in that huge density, but there is a separation from you from these main occurrences. And what is occurring now is that ones will, like twin flames coming together, more of the co-creators raising the vibration are taking the lead. New reality are energizing it stronger and stronger now. So they need to, this is the confusion with the masses, they need to separate from this dense energy to do so. So what this also means is that many of you are going to be raising in higher vibration out of that. Many of you are already hearing your energetic field is already raising in vibration with the toning, the high pitch you're hearing in your ears. That is your own energetic field that is recalibrating, um, and being prepared to extend this new reality, this new timeline for the masses to emerge into. So it needs to be energetically substantiated and created. Now, one trick with the high pitch, it's coming from you. It's coming for the most part from your energetic field. You're able to hear your frequency raising. Um, and one thing you can do is just be in a quiet room, stop your breathing for a few moments or a moment, and just still yourself, and that begins to increase your vibration, and you'll hear the tone will begin to go higher and higher pitch. And if you wish at that time, you can just, with your phone, I tried it last night, just put your phone on and see if it's recording that high pitch. And what you'll see is no, that it's not. Your phone doesn't pick it up because it is your own energetic field what is causing the high pitch in your ears. It's your own energetic field that you are mostly hearing. Now, however, not only are you, see, you're detecting multidimensionally, but energetically with your hearing as well. So not always is it your own field you're hearing. You also have the ability to hear the static or vibration, what is out there in the energetic field as a whole as well. So know that there are two things that occur, and you can experiment with it, and of course, with your experimentation, share with others so they're informed, purvey the knowledge out there. And everything that I do and put out, it's to be shared freely. No one ever needs to ask any permission. If you feel it will assist others, just grab it and share it. We're about assisting all, and there is no charge in what I do. And anything I write, anything I put out there, it's free for all. Anytime I individually assist ones, I do not charge. Yes, sometimes one wishes to donate, and if they do, I'm supposed to accept it, but there is no expectation for with that. And without getting into a deeper um, reasoning for that, because over the course of the years I've put out multiple posts to that effect, uh, suggesting for ones do not charge for assisting others, because so many are struggling and have the hardships and they're unable to pay for this. So it's important to assist ones freely. This is compassion. This is care. This is Christ consciousness, to assist ones without expectation of anything in return. It is always best energetically to give rather than to receive. Yes, receive is a good reciprocal part, but only if what you're receiving is given freely from the heart, from the other. You cannot force the other, for example, to charge them $100 an hour. That is forcing, that is controlling, that comes from fear. You don't do that. That is not full compassion. It's not from the heart. It's not valuing the individual that you're assisting. Your focus is to assist the individual, not look at the individual as an object of money, or try to substantiate what you're doing, saying, oh, it's just an energetic exchange, which that is not. It is the truth, but it's a controlled, not Christ consciousness energetic exchange. You're expecting, you're putting a obligation upon one by doing this. You are controlling them. You are enslaving them to pay you for what you're giving them. This is not Christ consciousness intrinsic value. This is part of the old beast system of how it worked. So ones need to be conscientious of what you're actually doing with this as well. So, great. Any questions? I was just rambling and rambling. I'm done. I got my list pretty well done. So any questions, pop them in the comments, please. And I'll take a few moments and answer some questions if there is any. One thing that is coming, you'll see more things falling out of the sky. There's satellites that some satellites will be coming down, will be burning up, as well as some meteorites. As I said earlier, to my divine knowledge, the disasters will continue to increase. You're also seeing, because of the great stress, any of you that monitor the earthquakes, you'll also are seeing more and heavier earthquakes beginning to occur in areas that are not even on significant fault lines, where, let's say, historically they did not occur before. And this is also provisioned and written in your Bible, earthquakes where they were never seen before. So again, it's another important sign that, yes, with revelations in the Bible, and Matthew chapter 24 mostly gives you the information on what Jesus said would occur, but not only Jesus, John as well, that wrote the Revelations. So what you're seeing is that this is not a fantasy story, that the Bible is not a fantasy, that it's actually real and it's actually happening. So you can get some clues out of there. And like with most writings and teachings, including the Bible, yes, things have been manipulated, omitted, and also misconstrued and manipulated intentionally. However, the core seed of truth is there, and as your consciousness raises in perception and in perspective, it's able to easily more readily identify what is not truth in the Bible, but what is. It doesn't matter what is not truth. It matters to identify the truths, because these are the indicators, these are the seeds that was planted in there as guidance for this time. So, are there any questions? I see Mylene uh, mentions, she says, sometimes has clicking in the left ear, like Morse code, as well as the ear ringing with changes in pitch. Now, yes, what you have is your pineal gland. See, everyone, every soul that is going forward and ascending, your physical vessel is evolving inside. There's so much occurring with your internal anatomy, with your physical vessel. And part of that is the expansion of your pineal gland that sits inside of your head, if you will. More typically, you'll hear clicking noises as it begins to expand in the roof of your mouth, but also you can hear it inside your ear. It'll sound like it's coming in there as well. These are little clicks as it begins to also vibrate at a higher vibration, and it begins to crack out and expand as well. Because this is, without going into detail with all of the reasonings why, this is also, it activates your DMT, your natural DMT, which is also part of your multi-dimensional abilities and your parapsychological abilities. Uh, Many of you are also growing behind the right ear a long ganglion, and if you feel, you might feel it puffy there, like you feel a vein or something, and that is a there's a neurogenesis going on in your head as well. And what this means is there's new neural pathways that are growing, new ganglions, and it's the way that your humanoid brain is being rewired, if you will, and it's to turn on, yes, the right side and the parapsychological gifts that go along with this, meaning that you'll begin to discover that many of these ESPs, if you will, and gifts are turning on. So ESP, the parapsychological gifts, telepathy, clairvoyance, say clairaudience, all of these things and even more is occurring. So it's important to pay attention to that and know that it's true as well, and you'll also find it in others. So great. Any more questions? I have one more cigarette and see if there's any other questions before we go. For the divine plan, what I say, and again, it's in the comments there, it's so important for everyone to share it for whoever will listen. Give it to them and ask them to pass it forward. Every child votes in this. If a child's 1 minute old, I believe the youngest child that we've had consented with this was less than, I think, 1 day old. That their parents consented for their child. So it was so beautiful. A baby, I believe, only 1 day old is consented with the new world, the divine plan. So every child's voice counts, the same as yours and mine. For the first time ever, the children worldwide are able to decide on their future, if they want to exist in this beast system or if they want the heaven on earth, what we're creating here. And yes, the beautiful children will all want to be in the free new world. Mary Beth, she says, don't the nerves grow and connect both sides of the brain so that the impulses does not go back and forth, one unified brain? Yes, more or less. That's what you're doing. Is the old subconsciousness, typically on the left side, is being calibrated. And see, it's important in that process that the memories and the subconscious programs also are released, and so that you're able to control your reality, and it's an important part of the inner work you do. So yes, you can look at it this way. Indeed, there's because also there's nothing going to be hidden any longer, if you will, in a subconsciousness. So a subconsciousness becomes a moot point, if you will, pardon the pun. So you no longer need that old programs of fear and survival tactics and involuntary actions. Joanna Child says, can voices that are from MK Ultra be dis I guess disconnected, and if so, how, please, Rick? Well, the first thing to begin with this is to trust in yourself and trust in God. That is the first thing. That is essential. And then you set off your process of being conscientious, knowing that, let's say, voices from MK Ultra, they're not yours. So you do not give your consent for them to invade your privacy. It's easily said, but there is a process with this. But the important thing is to empower yourself first, because by empowering yourself with that trust in yourself, in that connection with God and yourself, that organically begins to dissipate those voices. And if you still hear them, you're more readily equipped with your discernment to identify what is your thoughts and what is not. But then again, your consciousness is stronger. A divine one's consciousness, when they're entering the Christ consciousness, is stronger than any projections of anything from MK Ultra, any of the projected brainwashing programming. See, you become above that for the simple reason that MK Ultra voices and techniques, if resides on a certain lower frequency bandwidth, once your consciousness is aligned, it increases, it outpaces this bandwidth that you are in control, and it can no longer evade that frequency vibration of consciousness. But it's also important why each one purifies their self. Purify your own intent, because this creates a purer energetic field that MK Ultra cannot penetrate or cannot even contend with. So if that begins to answer, what I will say, I've worked with ones in the past that were severely subdued by the MK Ultra, and so I do know about it, and I do know how it works, and I do know how to raise ones out of it. Not saying that divinely I can raise all, because there was one that I lost. I couldn't raise her out of it. But she's not lost yet, I guess. I just lost connection with her. But the last time I had lifted her up so high, I'd created a rainbow and things for her, and she was beginning to fly, but then poof, then she dropped, and I haven't heard anything from her. And hopefully if she's seeing this, she'll connect back in, because I love all souls, and my great compassion and love is here to assist, and uplift as many as I can so we get this ascension done. For what I openly say, I'm sick and tired of being here, and Father reminds me I gotta be here. We gotta do this. The last almost 1 year, the last 10 months, um, Sister Nya and I have been working very hard, applying the law of God, but also showing in Austria how they were fully acting unlawfully and educating parents. And also, um, for that, it was just such a yucky, time consuming part of the mission, but I had to do it. And if it would have been just Rick's choice, if Rick was just a human, I would not have been doing that. But there were several times I asked Father, really, do I got to do this? Yes, he said, you must. So I put the head down and we divinely got to work. And let me say, it was, yeah, I believe we're near everything coming into the open, because I believe we're so close to the planetary ascension. How much more does humanity need to see? And the ones that are in places of corrupt power and judicial systems, their crimes are too extensive and it's too blatant, all of the harm that they are causing, so it cannot exist much longer. So, having said that, any closing questions? Or comments? I'll wait for about 2 minutes. I'm sitting outside and it's not so cool here, perhaps -1 or -2, but I have lots of clothes on. What Joanna says, thank you, Rick. She says it's the energetic theft, the voodoo, the power theft that she finds difficult to dissolve in the black magic. For the moment, one of the basics with black magic doesn't exist unless you allow it to and you believe in it. So if you believe that there's a black magic that is much more powerful than you, you'll never rise out of that, because your mind keeps creating the reality where you are disempowered and that a black magic will control you. The same with voodoo and all of these. And the pillage of your power, really, you are in the control seat of that. You just need to take the reins and take control of your own power and trust that in your connection to God. We are in unprecedented ascension times where the soul is the most powerful here. Anything like black magic or voodoo, it works on trickery to use yourself against yourself to create its effects. It really doesn't exist to have any effect on you. It's when you think it does that you're inviting it in. And yes, it will control you, but you need to know that it doesn't exist unless you believe it and allow it to exist. Because when you believe it and think that it exists, you're creating it, and you're also creating it within your field. So you are the one that is actually creating the confusion and the control with it by believing that it is, and thinking that you are powerless. So you just got to switch the way you're looking at it, switch your perspective. There, I can feel you already. You're uplifting, see? So, yeah, throw them chains off. They're not yours. You're divine. This is trickery of the darkness. The darkness were the masters of deception. but no longer are they, because we are the masters of the light and the truth perseveres and sets all free, breaks all of the chains. And that's what divine GPMS is. It breaks all of these illusionary chains and trickery of the darkness. It frees everyone into your abundance, your joy, all of your beautiful blessings. And it's just that one catch with it, that the majority needs to choose it, and they need to choose it now to end this insanity. But it's all ascertained that they do. It's inevitable, but it's just how long it takes. As I say, we could do it in a day. Right now, let's say if a GPMS went viral, within 24 hours, ones would begin to receive money. We can do it this quick, but it takes the people's choice to do it, and they're being forced into it divinely, because this world cannot continue as it was any longer. Corey, you're right into Minnesota. So, yeah, things very intense there with the domestic terrorism, what I call. But the people need to see, this is part of them seeing how things are not right with governments. It's all part of it, so that they begin to make the higher choices not to accept those things any longer, and to see the reality of what's going on with the darkness. Uh, Corey, I know you'll be able to. There's a reprieve, and you can watch if you wish. I think you just come in. You can watch a few of the tips and explanation in this live that will assist. And yeah, yeah. So the energy is here for you to uplift yourself, and without me re reiterating everything I already said, you can check in, and you should be able to find what you need. But it is there, brother. Yes, the higher uplifting energy, it is here. You just got to connect and tap into it. I see Rose. She says, Rick, the body spasm has happened behind left backside heart from shoulder down. Is that the pattern of fully opening spontaneous kundalini prior to traveling up the middle? Not the way that you have that written, Rose, is that the heart will typically activate. You'll feel it in the front side for the most part, but you may feel it through the back, and then it will go down on the angle to the root to activate, and the fuel will become activated then up through the prana, through the central core. But what's occurring is you need to understand everything with your physical vessel is changing, and you'll get a lot of what we call wing activations, which will be in the back, um, because they are connected with what you're doing at any given time, what your role is in this divine ascension, what needs to be activated, what you are actually playing out. But also your physical vessel is changing, and it can cause spasms and nervous system jolts, and all of these things. So at this time, it can be a number of things. Like in the past, it was simple when you had one or two main waves ascending. The symptoms would be assigned to this wave and this wave. Now you got so many different waves all at once. So you have the whole array of symptoms happening throughout the waves of ascendees. So it makes it more of an individual. When you get particular like you are, then it becomes more of a customized individual reasoning and substantiation for what it is. Um, so the way you had that written, Rose, I think I answered it, but I feel there's something else with it. However, if that didn't answer it fully, you can send me a message. I'm soon getting ready to shut this down. It's getting very cold out here. The divine temperature is cold, and we're dropping that. So, uh, so not sure, Joanna, what you're saying about the Illuminati, but those are defective ones, if you will, that were abusing the divine energy, and that's being all divinely taken care of. Oh, and Rose, yeah, you felt the front heart. Yes, so Rose, that's what you're feeling then. What's occurs that it's with your Kundalini. So keep with that because it is in alignment what's occurring. So don't question yourself and don't doubt what you feel. Meaning, as you didn't, you felt this, but you're just getting another opinion on it. And what I'm saying is, yes, keep with what you're feeling it is. So it's important not to doubt, because when you begin to doubt and question things, you enter confusion into the logic with what things are, and that begins to complicate things. It's much easier to evaluate neutrally, accept what it is, don't question it. If you need to know more, it comes. Those are, the basics with it. Lymph nodes are the ascension symptoms. Yes, myelin, all of these things. You need to also know, and under your armpits, if you got swelling there, also see everything is being upgraded with your natural immune system as well. So there are different things, but there are other things that occur with your lymph nodes that is connected to your pheromones and your vibration too, without me getting deep into medical explanation to keep it simple. Yes, everything, even with your thyroids and on your neck as well, these things are typical because again you're having quite, it depends upon the individual. Your physical vessel is evolving internally, and at any given time any and every part of it can be affected, if you will. So yes, everything in the body is. So and sometimes if you're a little bit more conscientious with what is occurring, and if you're guided to get some natural Labrador tea, yeah, you're in Ontario, Canada, you know, some Labrador tea is excellent. This assists with it if you feel guided to take a natural alleviation, if you will. So great. All right. So that's perfect. It's getting cold, and I'm going to end this. I have a call coming up with another, I believe, here in 15 minutes. So, with that, much love, light, and gratitude, and stick with it. This is just the birthing pains before the birth, and know that everything is going to be fine, and that everything you need in this time, what you need, you will be provided with. You don't need luxury and a lot of things. So just sit with that and know that everything will be fine, whatever circumstance that you may be in. The trust in the belief in yourself and your connection to God gets you through it. trust no matter what. Reality is not what it seems, but your ticket out of an insane reality, one of those tickets is trust. And then you see on the other side of the energetic reality that you persevere and you make it through. So with that, love, light, and gratitude, everyone, and have an amazing day wherever you may be. And be a part of the divine plan that's in the comments, and get it to as many as soon as possible. And make sure you let them know that every child's voice counts as a vote. For the first time ever in the world, every child's voice counts in this major referendum that is occurring worldwide. Have a beautiful day. And of course, worldwide peace. That's what it brings. Thank you.